Red Bull KTM's Cooper Webb finally reveals that he will not line up for the 2022 AMA Pro Motocross Championship. Hi, I'm Michael Lindsay from Vital MX, and that is the storyline we are talking about this evening. Yes, Cooper Webb has come out and revealed it. You will not immediately find it on his Instagram or in a press release, maybe in the next day or two, but Cooper has come out and admitted himself on DMXS Radio, hosted by Kevin Kelly and Dave Iser, who have been longtime friends of Coop. They had him on their recent show, which has just dropped the evening that we are recording this video. And Coop comes right out and says it in the podcast that he will not line up. After talking about just being focused on finishing out the season strong, talking a bit about some of the struggles this year, the things they have gone through to develop the new bike, his injuries, and also revealing a injury or crash that was away from the races we don't know about. He mentions about just getting through this weekend's race at Salt Lake City to cap off the year and focus on 2023. After which the hosts ask him about the AMA Pro Motocross Championship, where he does say, yes, him and the team have decided that it is in their best interest to sit out. The primary reason he lists for this is actually a head injury that ended up coming up during what we had as our first break in the Supercross season. He said he had a practice crash right after he got back into regular training from his hand injury. And he said while he has been able to race and ride out these last couple rounds by looking at the data and everything they see during the week, he said his reaction times are off, shift times, and a few things that they're seeing is just everything's not all quite right in the head. He says day to day he feels okay, but just on the bike his reaction times are currently off and it isn't improving at the rate that they would like. He does list this as the primary reason that he will sit out the Outdoor Championship in preparation for next year's Supercross title, which also came up because he is coming to the end of his current Red Bull KTM contract. That has been widely talked about the last few weeks. And Cooper does come out and say, yes, he is technically going to be a free agent at the end of this year, but right now has all intentions to re-sign with the Red Bull KTM squad. The part that he does not get into is what the length of the next contract he is looking for, though. We do know he has one more year on his Red Bull personal deal, so there is speculation that he may try to match that on his KTM deal, or he may sign more long-term. Everything he says in the interview is very positive about the team, about the success he's had there and how he'd like to stay there long-term, but there have always been long-term rumors about him maybe trying to reunite with the Star Racing program one day. However, with contracts, there's always different ways it could be spun. He could sign a one-year deal with options, maybe a 2 or 3, but either way, Webb says his current intentions are to re-sign with the team. That's why he is sitting out outdoors due to the health issues. He does comment about the bike. We still think that might be a little bit part of it just for him to fully prepare for next year. But all this is in line for him to line up at Anaheim 1 in 2023, still aboard that Red Bull KTM 450 SXF. Webb also talks about some of the decision was based around the thought that Jeffrey Hurlings would be able to compete here. He said while him and the team did agree that he needed to get better, initially it looked much more positive for the team to have a championship contender on the bike to take his place. But as we've learned also this week, Hurlings will not be able to race in the US. And as of right now, Aaron Plessinger is the only full-time 450 entry that the team has entering the outdoor season, although there is a lot of speculation that Ryan Dungey may continue on after the first 2 rounds if the results are good enough to pretty much put him in the position to be competitive towards the title. Max Vohland will return for KTM on their 250 program by the opening round as of now. At least that is what it sounds like and is slated for. But Webb also does not rule out possibly returning later in the season. He did say that his future with KTM would be indoors and outdoors, again ending some speculation that he may sign a Supercross-only contract. So if he does feel better, getting some outdoor rounds in this year would help him towards bike development and learning this new chassis and generation motorcycle. He also did state that he has intentions to want to get on the Motocross of Nations Team USA this year, which will be held at Redbud, Michigan. So, of course, he would probably like to get in a couple rounds, be competitive, throw his name in the hat, but we will see as the season comes on and gets through the first couple rounds if we hear any rumors about Webb returning before the year is up. Another interesting part of the interview is Webb talking a bit about his struggles this year. Other than the issues pertaining to the bike, he does admit that some of his off-track decisions have affected him, mostly his training program. It was very well known that he had basically left the Alden Baker program at the beginning of this year to pursue his own program with a trainer, Michael Byrne, and to ride at the 83 compound. As of the later part of the Supercross season, he has returned to Baker's program, albeit it sounds like it has been modified a little bit, but he admits that by going away from the program, he learned a couple things that were better for him, but he also did admit that quite a majority of what he had tried probably was not as helpful. However, he also states that if he had not made the move away from the program, he was so burnt out at the time that he would have actually retired from pro motocross. But by walking away from that program and seeing the struggles he has faced, he claims that has remotivated him to continue racing and to get back into that day-to-day grind and really just continue on towards being a title contender and trying to win races and championships. If you'd like to listen to this whole interview, look down below in the description. We've put a link to the podcast by the DMXS crew. They have one of the longest lasting, if possibly, I think they may be the originators basically of a moto radio show. They have a lot of great guests on. Again, you can check out the link below, listen to the whole 45-minute episode with Cooper Webb, and listen to detail and his own words about all these situations that we talk about in this show. So thanks for watching. If you like this, like, subscribe, thumbs up, the whole 9 yards, and join us on the next episode.